Cedric Maxwell Podcast is powered by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
All right, it's another episode of the Cedric Maxwell Podcast. I'm Josue Pavone alongside Cedric Maxwell. Got the Boston Celtics, new winning streak now, 6 in a row, coming off their blowout win against the Detroit Pistons. But we got plenty to talk about as well, right? There's no Giannis Antetokounmpo against the Celtics. Does not happen in Max. Last game at TD Garden between these two teams, Celtics and Bucks. But you know what? Again, there's still plenty to talk about, right? We got Sam Hauser, what he did in DC. We got Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett. I like what they did in the last game. I got something I want to ask you about those guys. And then also they got the return of Kristaps Porzingis. So why don't we start there, Max? What did you make of Kristaps? You know, he missed 5 straight before playing against the Detroit Pistons. Got out to a great start and looked pretty good to me, man. What did you make of it?
Yeah, he had a few bumps a little bit later, but knocked down some shots early on. Ran well. I think you're looking for that. So I think that was a good deal with him coming back, knocking down shots, being effective, rebounding, just as important. They manhandled Detroit. Really feel sad. My gotta give a shout out to my buddy Rick Mahorn, who my opposite counterpart with Detroit over there on the radio side. I played against him, and he's having a knee operation. So get well soon, fella. Get well soon.
Yeah, get well. We didn't see Rick in the last game. I was gonna say, what did he have to say to you? But yeah, we wasn't there. That's right.
Yeah, this is the Detroit team right now. I just don't understand them. I thought when you have Cade Cunningham, Ivy, you got some guys who are talented, who run the floor well. The biggest thing to me I saw in that game was and I talked to a couple of Celtic coaches later on after the game, was Wiseman. Wiseman, the second player picked in the draft by Golden State. Golden State let him go. This kid, I'm trying to figure out why he's not good. He's athletic. He runs the floor. And if he had been with Golden State, all they're asking you to do is be like Looney over there. They just want you to rebound and pass the basketball and block shots. He looked like he was capable of doing that, but man, he looks lost out on the basketball floor.
Yeah, man. He's never found his.
It's just sad to see a young kid like that with so much promise and so much talent. I mean, physically, long arms, strong, runs the floor, but doesn't really know how to play the game.
Yeah, and you thought this great for a fresh start, I should say, in Detroit would open things up for him. But yeah, he hasn't really shown much growth ever since his stint there. I mean, a little bit in compared to the guy he was when he was with the Golden State Warriors. But yeah, I'm with you, man. We're still waiting for him to blossom, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, just to blossom and see where it is. But, you get back to the Celtics and what they've done with their bench and the players they have. To see Hauser have a game the way he did in Washington, knocking down, it's like get the 10 threes or something like that, which was crazy.
10. He was going for the record, Max. Damn, too bad he got hurt.
As much as I would like for him to get the record, I think he could have done it naturally. It was, the biggest takeaway in the last couple of games was what happened to Derek White when Derek White had the triple-double. And the Celtics almost tried to force that triple-double. And Derek White, I talked to him about it. He said, he was on the air, and he said later on, he said, how'd you feel with stat padding? He said, it was horrible. He said, I started playing poor. I was making bad decisions because I was trying to force something which wasn't natural.
Right.
And that's a cool thing for a young kid like that to understand, like, okay, I don't want to play like that. It shouldn't be about those records, but it should be more about wins. And that's the only thing I looked at that game that there was a negative takeaway. I understand it was like a triple-double. A lot of people haven't done it before, but still in today's basketball, I don't think it really has a place to actually go out and do it unless you're doing it naturally.
Right, but you know what's cool about that, though? The part that I love about this story is when the head coach steps in and says, you know what, man? You've been working your ass off. You're that dude on both ends of the floor. Go ahead and get your triple-double, man. Once you get the approval from the head coach, that's great, Max. Come on, man. It wasn't like it's a close game. Why not? Get your triple-double, Derek.
It's not great. Just the way because it's manufactured. The natural way it happens would have been
The pass was the last one. The last assist was. That's true.
Oh, the last assist you set up a play for Derek White to pass it over to somebody to shoot the basketball.
He's got to make the shot. If he doesn't make the shot, he would have got pulled.
That's the toughest thing to do. So what happens if they don't make the shot? You gonna keep him in for another 5 minutes until he gets the assist?
Maybe another possession or two. Maybe one or two possessions after that.
Let's play devil's advocate here. What happens if he get hurt? What happens if he gets hurt?
Then we're having this discussion here in the Cedric Maxwell podcast.
You be having a whole nother discussion. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that Joe Mazzulla left him out there in that situation.
And I'd be like, Joe, you got to be more responsible than that.
I appreciate the fact that he got it, but the way he got it, he talked about it himself and saying, I was not comfortable with the stat padding. And I'm sure it might have been our guy, Gary Washburn might have asked him, how'd you feel about that? Was one of the reporters who asked him about that.
Especially if he got hurt. Gary would be asking that question. But good thing he didn't get hurt. Yeah, man. Shout out to Derek White. First career triple-double. Just how many players in this game scored 20+. And I know it's the Detroit Pistons. They're not one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. But I just love that win because the guys that shine outside of the normal starters. And I talked about it from the top, man. Between Peyton Pritchard and Lou Cornett, man, they're putting together a lot of games now. And this is like a streak they're on. I think it's worth saying, man. They got the momentum going for sure.
Yeah. Oh, you look at their bench, man, right now. Peyton Pritchard's playing well. And everybody thought that was going to be the downfall. I thought Brissett was a guy I'd want to play more because he's a rebounder. He's an energy guy. Right. But now everybody said that Cato was going to be the guy who was going to step in and take Luke's spot. Luke, like, no, I do this well. I am a great backup to Porzingis. I'm a great backup to Al Horford. So he's leveraged that spot and played extremely well.
And with that, the Celtics have a 10-game lead at the top of the Eastern Conference. 10 games. I know you guys are doing this back in the 80s, Max, but since I've been watching this team, no. Never have I ever. I've never seen a team have this lead.
In the 80s, we were not like that because Philly was always a team that was just as good as us. If we won 60 games, Philly won 62. If we won 60, we were winning. If they won 61, we won 62. So it was always close until the end of the season. I don't think I've seen any runaway like this in the last couple of years. When you think about one team being this dominant in the Eastern Conference. But the thing you keep talking about, Joe Sway, is this. My broadcast partner, Sean Grandy, talks about it right now. He said the Boston Celtics are clearly one of the best teams in the history of basketball offensively. And he's right.
Absolutely.
But in Boston, what does that get you?
I was just going to say.
You don't win the championship. What does that get you?
I mean, that's it. It doesn't get you anything until you get that last thing.
You want me to take you down Dudley to get a Cupid doll or something? Down on one of these streets to pick something up. I mean, it's a great story. Right. John Grandy's right. We should be living the moment, but that's not how society is. Society is not. I'm living the moment. Society is living the future, and it's what you do at the very end. I will be so happy and relieved. And I talked to Joe Mazzulla about this. I said, there's a lot of pressure on you guys right now. A lot of pressure on Tatum. He said, I don't want it to be any pressure on Tatum. I have to find a way to eliminate that pressure. I said, it's impossible. He's like, why? I said, because of social media. Mm-hmm. Jayson Tatum has probably 3-4 million followers. Knowing what his son does, where he eats at, what kind of car, who he's dating. So no, you can't eliminate the pressure until you actually win it. And now hopefully they can win it this year to eliminate that pressure. And here's the thing about it. This team is good enough now, the way it's constructed, to win multiple championships. Right. If they can break through this year. Or you start looking at is this the Buffalo Bills during the 90s, the team that went to the Super Bowl 4 times and never won it? I think that, and there's a lot of other things that are kind of going along with that, Josue, is the fact that LeBron James talked about it. He said, it took me to 28.
I was going to bring it up. Yep.
And it took this. But who wants to hear what LeBron said? That's a wolf in sheep's clothing right there. You really think LeBron James gives a damn about, Jayson Tatum?
He's applying that pressure right now just by saying that, Max.
Right.
He's adding more.
Absolutely. Putting more pressure. Yeah, you need to win one. It's possible,
But don't you get one before the age that I got one, right? I had to turn 28 before I grabbed mine. Yeah, for sure, man. That's added pressure. But we have to credit Tatum for adapting to the pressure up until this point, though, right?
Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's a tournament season or the fight for a playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. Prize Picks is really simple to play, and I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Use the code CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
And the same thing can be said about Jaylen Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown, listen, people can say whatever they want about what happened, All-Star Weekend, the dunk on all. For me, that was a huge stepping stone because he showed he put his personality out there. He was on stage. And I think that was a huge step for him. And I think it's, no coincidence that he's gone on this offensive tear ever since, man.
I think the thing
that was big.
I think the thing, and I'm not sure if it's the All-Star break, but I think he's just more comfortable with himself. When you get one of the highest paid contracts in the history of the NBA, automatically there's pressure. Can he shoot? How he handles the ball? Does he lose the ball? Let me tell you, really, I think the key to this has been Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, those guys between Jaylen Brown and Kristaps,
yeah, they're tight, man.
These are the tightest dudes. This is going back to the 90s. It's like Hall and Oates or some group you think about. Like, man, these dudes are cops and robbers.
They're probably the closest ones on the team.
Look,
yeah,
they call themselves right now cookies and cream. And what do you think that? What do you think Baskin Robbins or Ben and Jerry?
Oh, they're about to sign a deal.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's like, yo, whoa, hold up with that cookies and cream thing. But Kristaps has. I don't think I've seen Jaylen Brown smile as much or as aggressive as he's been. I love everything about what he's doing this year because you're saying it, and I believe it. His persona has come out so much more. And even the mean side. You give me the mean Jaylen. You give me the mean Jaylen Brown. You give me the stank face Jaylen Brown. I take that all day.
Oh, man, there's a number of victims from this season. How many players he's dunked on this year, man? It's incredible. Yeah, man, he's having a blast out there, and I love it. I just think the two go hand in hand, man, for sure. But between the two of them, too.
You mean the way you think about that? Was that the dunk of the year that we saw with Anthony
Edwards? Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure, man. But the other kid,
Jalen Johnson, might have been worse. Yes. Oh. Yeah, man, that's a great question because for me, the Edwards is the extension, but man, Johnson, he took off.
Are you talking about the dunk that he had against the Lakers? That dunk, or are you talking about the one where the kid was like? He was doing chin-ups on the rim. I'm just not sure. This.
I mean, no, the Collins one is the other one, the first one.
That was nasty.
And he hurt his left hand on it.
Oh, it got poked all in the eye. Just
But the same night, what was that? I think it was Jalen Johnson. The other dunk was crazy.
Yeah, you're talking about in LA. And
the LA one, which happened the same night, which like a half hour later.
Nice, but there's another one that's out there. We're gonna put this on these three dunks up, and we're just gonna go, oh my god. I've seen them this year, just been crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't LA. My fault. I want to make sure it was the right game. Yeah, but it was Jalen Johnson over Austin.
But how about
he went
And then the Kyrie Irving left hand floater
I
from.
know, man. It's been a fun week in the NBA, man. It's that time of the year. Teams are getting ready for the playoffs, man. But
Well,
man,
why
the
the
victims
hell?
though.
Well, let me ask you this: why the
Hold on,
hell
hold on.
Giannis playing then tonight?
I know. But hold on, Max. Which one got it worse though? Because if you ask me, I think Austin Reeves got it worse. Like the way he got dunked on, man. It was, what was in his grill.
That was tea bags. Those his bag, his nuts.
I want to make that clear. Like that's
in his damn face. That was that. But again, I don't know.
That's what I wanted to make sure we were clear on. All right, cool.
Yeah, his nuts were all up in his damn.
Collins got hurt, but Reeves got hurt. Like that hurts more watching that replay.
Reeves' feelings got hurt. They asked him about it later on. One of the reporters said, "So what do you think about it?" He said, "Hell, you saw it, man. You talking about what? How did that feel?" And the guy talking about,
you don't want to watch that again.
I did. You saw it. He said, "Shit, I saw it up close and personal. I don't want to see that again." So yeah, that's just it. Really is interesting to see. But the mad dash.
Austin said I lived it. I don't need to watch it, man. I lived it.
How about the mad dash just out west, though? Something's running away with the East. But the mad dash out west right now, that's fascinating to me. You're right. This is a scary team to watch when you think about what they can do and how they've played. I don't care. I mean, it's just sad that we're in a position that it is, what can you do for me now? What will you do for me later? Because as great as the Celtics have been this year, you look at the talk shows, they don't even talk about the Celtics right now. They talk about the Bruins more than they talk about the Celtics, because the Bruins have disappointed a little bit. But the Celtics, the way they play, it's like, especially talk shows here in Boston,
they just want to wait for the playoffs, man, Max. That's the way it always is here in Boston, man. They just like, show us that you actually have a chance to win the championship. Like, show us when you're there, when you're closer, and we'll see we'll see everything change in April and May. Put it that way. Sure. You think Joe Mazzulla feels it though? You think he feels like, man, this could be it? Because he doesn't have a whole lot of experience, obviously, as head coach, but to be in the position that he's in right now looks a hell lot more comfortable than he did last year.
Joe Mazzulla, he does this thing where he walks around the court before the game, and I was there early. I had an event probably maybe 3 hours before anybody got in the building. He was walking around the court, and he walks around by 3, and he has these bees in his hand, and he stopped in front of me. He said, "Max," he said, what number were you?" He said, "Which championship you win?" I said, 81 and 84. He said, "You were finals MVP." He said, "That's the first time I really talked to Joe." He said, "I really admire you." He said, I said, "I like you too." And I said, "I hope that you guys play well." He said, "Well," that's when he was talking about the pressure. He said, and it was so crazy. Just the way the man literally had it seemed like he had tears in his eyes, saying, "I would do anything to bring a championship banner here." And I'm just hoping and praying that he does, because he deserves it. The team deserves it. What he's been through back and forth. He just said, "I would do anything." He said, I don't care who I have to kill." And I said, "Well, I need to find out about that guy, Gary Washburn, to make sure he's going to be okay." Because and Joe Mazzulla just bust out laughing. Because if you guys don't know, him and our guy, Gary Washburn,
that's funny.
They are like salt and pepper. I mean, they're just between the two of them, it's just absolutely crazy.
Complete opposites in a sense. That's incredible, man. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, if you're Joe Mazzulla, you gotta feel it. Not that you have to talk about it or go up there and keep bringing it up, because that's not the way to do it. Just stay the course, stay the way, stick with what's been working. But at this point,
can you stay the course when your team is one of the best teams right now in NBA history offensively? This is one of the best teams we've seen offensively in the history of the NBA. And Joe Mazzulla said it at one time. He said, "This team only can get better offensively." He says he sees a lot, and they have. I mean, to watch Drew Holiday now kind of get to where he needs to get, shooting the basketball. Right. Derek White's had an all-star year. we know what Tatum and we know, what Brown has done this year. Tatum has been surreal. Porzingis is fit in like a glove. And everybody said, well, you don't have a bench. And you look at those bench guys come in. Al Horford's been fantastic. If this team stays healthy, just stays healthy. I just want them to be healthy in the playoffs and see exactly what they can do. And try not to feel the pressure, because the pressure, I don't care who it is, pressure busts pipes. This team has a tremendous amount of pressure on them because they have set themselves up for failure because they've been so damn good. They've been, they've been so good. They've been like Big Poppy would say, so good that that they've set a standard. That can any team live up to that standard? The bar they've set right now for themselves.
100%. Man, 14 games left in the regular season. And of course, it's going to fly by. We got you there every step of the way. You already know. Cedric Maxwell podcast. With that, wrap up the show.
The thing that I love about this is when I talk about David Ortiz, you never refer to him as his nickname. So it puzzles me. Some of our
his name's Ortiz. What you mean?
What? Nobody
That's
calls
his name.
him Ortiz. Nobody calls him that.
I don't use that slang, man. I don't say the whole poppy thing. The Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans do it too. It's not really the Honduran thing, to be throwing around.
I've seen everybody around here.
When's the last time?
God, everybody around here, he goes any place, everybody, Poppy, Big Poppy. I never see you use that because you're like, what's a grown man calling another man Poppy for?
Exactly. How many of you boys you call daddy? Yo, what up, daddy? But that's a thing though. See, some guys say, like, maybe some old school people be like, what's good, daddy? Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. But no knock to people who do it. No knock. All right, that's y'all slang. That's cool. I'm more of a what up, man, or what what up. I don't even know.
What's up, David? What
someone's got a nickname. I said, what up, Max? Or like,
he don't never hear that. He don't never hear, hey, what's up, David? How you doing? You don't never hear that, except if he was in your community. Then you'd hear David. And that would be from you, only you. God, that's funny.
With that, we wrap up this episode of Cedric Maxwell Podcast. Subscribe, you already know. Share episodes as well. All of that helps, man. We appreciate the continuous support, man. He's Cedric Maxwell. I am Josue Pavone. We'll check you guys out next week.